Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Grim the Lord Assault here with some more retro wrestling. Today we're playing WWF Raw via the Sega 32X version. This game was released to a whole bunch of consoles back in the day, including the Game Boy, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and Game Gear as well. I actually played it mostly on the Genesis back in the day, but here we go, the official old school Raw intro theme. Oh yeah, the good old days, guys. The good old days. So yeah, this is developed by Sculptured Software. The last in their classic or retro line of wrestling games, I guess you could say, where they were still trying to kind of emulate the older, arcade games like Superstars and WrestleFest. Still using the same grappling system, but they innovated a lot, and of course this version has the best colors, brightest colors, and best sounds and all that. So we'll get right into it. 12 playable wrestlers in this game, same as there were in Royal Rumble. A bit short, of course, of the massive 20 wrestler roster that we had in Rage in the Cage, but that was Sega CD. So I'll be playing through the Bedlam mode or the Raw elimination match here, because what you do is you pick 6 wrestlers. And basically the roster split in half. So you pick a team, you pick the other team, and they go one-on-one matches until the endurance match until it's over. We'll go difficulty 2. Let CPU choose, because they're just going to pick whoever's left after we choose. Okay, so we got a nice roster here. And you can listen to the themes, but on this version you have to hit the view stats, which took me a minute to realize, so I hit options first. Definitely want a 6-button controller for these games again. Or to go with 6-button configuration, there's a theme from Death Valley, weighing 328 pounds. This is a 6'11" with the finishing move, the Tombstone. So yeah, we'll do the Undertaker. Yokozuna, Bam Bam Bigelow, the bad guy, Razor Ramon, from Miami, Florida, weighing 287 pounds, standing 6'7", finishing move, the Razor's Edge. And they got stats, of course, and there's codes, I think, so you can max out the stats if you wanna, if I remember correctly. Doink Lex Luger, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, from San Antonio, Texas, weighing 234 pounds, standing 6'1", with the finishing move, the Slingshot Suplex. No sweet chin music yet back then. It took a while for them to decide to go with the Super Kick for his finisher. It was all about the warm-up here. There, the 1-2-3 Kid! From Minneapolis, Minnesota, weighing 212 pounds, standing 6 foot tall, finishing move, the Moonsaults. Years before he was 6 or X-Pac in NWO and DX respectively. So yeah, you got pretty much the whole clique here. And there's the last member, Kevin Nash himself, Big Daddy Cool Diesel. From Las Vegas, Nevada, weighing 317 pounds, standing nearly 7 feet tall with the finishing move, the Jackknife. So yeah, and that's what made this game cool for me when I was a kid, because I got into wrestling in '97, so the NWO was already a thing, but it was kind of cool to have a WWF game that had NWO guys in it, like Hall, Nash, and who was known at the time as Six, good old Sean Waltman. Video game debut of Owen Hart, and the last one I'm going to save for one of my favorites, Luna Vachon, from the other side of darkness, weighing 135 pounds, standing 5'5", finishing move, the Luna Eclipse. If you weren't familiar with my old channel, you might know that I have a certain type. The goth muscle mommies. I can't help myself. I gotta pick the first female wrestler in a video game, and just the rest of the roster is really good. Lex Luger, Yokozuna, Bret Hart, Bam Bam, Owen Hart, and of course, Doink the Clown. Not enough evil clowns in the professional wrestling these days. Okay, so yeah, here we go, playing as the Undertaker. He's got his new look, rather just... I don't know why he's got a blue stripe on his pants. I don't remember that being a thing. He's got the purple gloves and leg wraps there. If you play the Genesis version, it's for some reason his gloves and boots are red. So I don't know why, but Luger's got his new face patriotic coloring there. Grappling's hard. If they initiate grappling, they spam grapple in this game, which kind of ruins a lot of the fun, I'll say. New ring, you've got the WWF Raw logo down there. We've got new weapons. There's the chair there, but there's other things like megaphones or suitcases. Sometimes a bucket of salt or a sign that said Raw on it. You know, all those things. The moves are also different. They did add extra moves in there, and they switched them around for different characters. It's not a huge move list, but it's nice that they have different moves now, where before they had the same move list for all the wrestlers. So it adds a little bit of variety, which is nice. Unfortunately, because the mechanics are so simple, it basically just boils down to whoever grapples first is the winner. You know, unfortunately that's just the way it goes. You can still knock out the ref. You can see some new announcers back there. I'm not even sure who those are, because in the demo we saw it was Jerry Lawler and Vince McMahon, Tombstone in the back, and he got right up. They pop right back up until they're out of health. Then they're finally done, which is kind of frustrating, I'll be honest. But then you pin them, you can get a showy finish, pin if they're, you know, out of it. And yeah, like I was saying, I'm not sure who those announcers are. I have to look that up. I meant to before I booted up the game. It's kind of weird. But yeah, before it was Jerry Lawler and Vince McMahon. It looks like, could be a megaphone down there. Here's Yokozuna and The Undertaker. Of course, Yokozuna was the first one to hand Undertaker a major defeat on a televised show. He beat him at the Royal Rumble of '94 this year, which triggered Undertaker to be gone. He was, of course, really away to recover from surgery, and you know, Yokozuna ended up losing his belt to Bret Hart. It was a championship match. Undertaker came back to face the fake Undertaker at SummerSlam at what a lot of people call the worst wrestling match ever. I actually really like it, probably because I'm an Undertaker fan, and that was really more about the build-up and really the entrances. There was some awesome entrances there. You got, and it was cool conceptually that, you know, Undertaker was brought in by Ted DiBiase, and it makes you question, you know, what the origins of the character really are. You know, if there could be multiple Undertakers out there. You know, there's maybe Papa Shango's making zombies out of Undertakers or something for Ted DiBiase. I don't know, but I thought it was great. I mean, it wasn't much of a match, but they had to cut the match short because the Bret Hart match ran for so long. You don't want to cut that match because it was an excellent match, right? So you can't really be mad about it. But they did have Undertaker and Brian Lee, who played his doppelganger, did have a lot more planned for that. They just, unfortunately, didn't get to carry that. Big suplex just bounced off the ropes. Good stuff, though. Good stuff. Yeah, '94 is known as one of the worst years in professional wrestling, but I actually liked '94, really early '90s in general for WWF, because everything that made the Attitude Era great came out of the early '90s, you know, from WWF and WCW. Even though they were goofier eras as far as TV goes and all that. Here comes the Hitman. Was world champion at the time. Where was I going with that? Yeah, it all came from there, because guys even like Hall and Nash, they were all part of that Diamond Mine in WCW with, of course, Diamond Dallas Page, and, you know, Scotty Flamingo, who goes on to become Raven. So that's a lot of awesome guys already having connections there, and of course they came here to WWF in this era. Hall and Nash had some of their best matches back in the day with Shawn and with Bret, and, you know, Mr. Perfect and Undertaker and all these other guys that were around had excellent matches. You know, Bam Bam Bigelow, you know, and there were some all-star matches. The ladder match between Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels, you know. Oh, I love it when they're in a corner, because you can climb up on them and get the 10 punch if you're lucky, but he came right out of it. But yeah, and the feuds with Bret Hart were great at the time. He was doing Bret Hart, really, people don't give him credit for innovating what really evolved into the Attitude Era, which is they stopped having the really gimmick-based angles, like the superhero Hogan and Ultimate Warrior era, and they started doing more real stuff, and that started with Bret and Shawn, really, especially Bret at the time. You know, his feud with family feuds with the British Bulldog, that big match at SummerSlam that kicked off the whole European tour, which was great stuff. Then his feud at the time here with Owen, which was what put Owen over. And of course, we're pinning him. Undertaker's unstoppable. So yeah, it was. They were more personal angles, more real, because it played on real life. And of course, they all got along. In real life, they were happy to work with each other. Here's Bam Bam Bigelow, the Beast from the East. Actually came from Jersey myself, so I've actually seen some places that Bam Bam Bigelow used to run. Okay, so it's a suitcase. First day suitcase, trying to trick Bam Bam into coming down here. We got him. Luckily, we didn't get disqualified. Game couldn't handle mechanics that complicated yet. But, yeah, some great stuff came out of there. And, of course, Steve Austin was just getting over in WCW, a stunning Steve, you know. Mick Foley got over big there as Cactus Jack. You know, and really at ECW. You know, a lot of the wrestlers who established themselves and became big stars in the Attitude Era were establishing themselves in the early 90s, in the so-called Dark Ages, you know. But seeing like Steve Austin and Dustin Rhodes wrestling in WCW, Brian Pillman, and all these other guys, you know, Mark Merrow was over there. I forget his name, Johnny B. Bad, right? Johnny B. Bad and Brian Pillman had some great matches. There was great matches on both sides, great feuds. They just don't get enough credit because there's plenty of goofy stuff, admittedly. So, you had your Doinks. I love Doink, but yeah, he was definitely. And Luna Vachon, by the way, was Bam Bam's valet. If you wanna, she was almost more of an enforcer because she did wrestle. That's why they put her in the game. She played with the big boys. Another reason why I like Luna. She wasn't some girly girl, you know. She wasn't just out there to be eye candy or, you know, to be a ballerina or a dancer like a lot of the modern wrestlers seem like they are. They're just there for the choreography. She felt real, you know. Yeah, she would have dominated if you could put her in modern. I'm just getting frustrated at this point because they keep grabbing me. And when they grab you, the only thing you can really do is mash buttons. It's the only way to win. Or you wait for them to get you, which takes forever because they barely try when you're not resisting. And I don't know how to break the grapples. The computer does, but I couldn't figure it out. So it's frustrating when they grab you first. It kind of ruins that. Again, this is a very simple thing. As a kid, I always kept the difficulty to 1, and it was fun. I enjoyed it at 1. The refs knocked out, so we could have some real fun here, but yeah, it didn't happen. He just kept grabbing me. All I could do was try grabbing him, and just keep rolling. It bugged me that they keep just getting right back up. Tombstone on Bam Bam, and he pops up like nobody's business. Yeah, that kind of stuff drives me crazy. Like, stay down for a minute, you know? Give me a minute or two. You can't even climb the turnbuckle because they get right back up. It's like, what's the point? You have to wait until they're already done. Fun as a kid, but as an adult, it's a little frustrating. Here he is, the Rocket Owen Hart. This was during his feud with Brett. Earlier in '94, of course, they started tag teaming because Owen was having trouble in '93. Ooh, big boot with WWE. They didn't really find a good roll-up. Impressive. They didn't find a good spot for Owen. You know, he started off as the masked Blue Blazer. Fortunately, that's how he ended, too, but we won't get into that yet. Then they had him teaming with Coco Beware for a while in Higher Energy, which I think was great. I loved their matches. I liked Coco. I think he was a great wrestler, a great worker. He knew how to get the crowds going, you know, and it seemed like they just, I don't know if it was a cut or something, but they let him go for some reason. And I still think he's one of the more underrated wrestlers. And him and Owen, I think, were a great team. But unfortunately, Coco Beware left, and Owen was gonna quit because he just wasn't getting over. And Brett talked to him. He knew how much he enjoyed doing it and how much he liked being with the guys. So he convinced Vince to, you know, let them do a feud together, the brother rivalry, which worked fantastically. One of the biggest feuds of the era. And again, that realism is a mark of the beginning of what would become the Attitude Era, you know, and a great feud. And Owen really got over for it, you know, as a heel, of course, but it worked. And he got the family involved because Jim Neidhart came back, teamed with Owen as a heel, and Davey Boy wound up teaming with Brett, you know, so they had to mend their fences. And the wives got involved and the sisters, and it was great. It was really good stuff, and some great matches between the two of them, too. Of course, Owen Hart, unfortunately, did pass away a few years later. Tragic accident. I honestly, I don't know if he ever would have gotten, if Vince would have really given him the push he gave Brett, but I think he deserved it. And maybe if they had gone that track instead, you know, because he should have been. He was working with guys like Triple H and The Rock and all. He should have been a main eventer when they were. For some reason, they tagged him with Slapnuts, you know, Jeff Jarrett. I let him. Owen Hart gets the pin on Undertaker. He earned it. He earned it. He can have it. He ended the streak on Raw. Yeah, they had him teaming with Jarrett. They had him putting on the Blue Blazer costume again. Well, knock it off. Here he comes, the bad guy, Razor Ramon. Scott Hall and Owen Hart. This is a match you can't do today in any wrestling game without creator wrestlers. You know, it's crazy, right? But that's why I like the rosters of these games. They were bigger rosters. Gameplay was simple, but as a kid it was fun enough, and it was just fun being able to play as. And because I would rent Royal Rumble all the time, and I had Raw, so I played Raw, and then I rent Royal Rumble like it was a pay-per-view. You know, it's like, oh, time for the pay-per-view. Hulk Hogan's back, and it's Randy Savage, yeah, Papa Shango. But yeah, these were classic games, but tried the Razor's Edge. Obviously, too close to the ropes. This is where you do have to be kind of aware. There's also what they call mega moves. I can't do them. They're tricky to pull off. A computer will do one to me, and it's absolutely crazy when they do. But you guys will see. The sprites are nicely detailed, I think, for the era. Again, it's nowhere near as good as WrestleFest, but still pretty good for the time. And it's always fun to go down retro memory lane once in a while. Though I do enjoy just playing the newer games more. I'd rather just recreate these wrestlers, you know, on a modern wrestling game. Cocky pin from Scott Hall there. The bad guy. It's a shame I didn't get to feature more of the Click. But, you know, it is what it is. And who's up next? I think it's the last one. Doink. Yeah, Doink the Clown. Man, like I said, not enough clowns. You can get clowns in AAA. They had, what did they call them? Something Carnival. The Dark Carnival or something like that. Psycho Carnival? I don't know. Psycho Circus. That's what it's called, AAA. I love watching AAA, by the way. Great. I think Mexican wrestling was always better than Japanese, in my opinion. The Mexicans just really know how to just do it better. You know, they do. They don't get really complicated with the feuds and angles, and that's fine. They just focus on having great matches, I love the costumes and the variety of the styles, the appearances. Every wrestler is interesting, you know, and that's something I miss in a lot of modern wrestling, current, you know, modern WWE and even AEW. It's all just kind of the same stuff everywhere, you know, same guys doing the same moves. There's a mega move. He kicked me out like a soccer ball. A lot of them do. They're kind of goofy, over the top, like gamey moves. But yeah, obviously it'd be pretty cool to pull one off. But yeah, it's good luck with that. Fall away slam was actually one of the bad guys' signatures. So hip toss to the outside. Yeah, the other place you can find evil clowns is Juggalo Championship Wrestling. Here we are, the Razor's Edge for the win. Well, just about the win. We'll get the pin there. But yeah, JCW run by Insane Clown Posse has evil clowns too. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I won't include a bonus match, but if you watch this on Rumble, you get the bonus match because WWE still likes to censor that stuff. So yeah, bonus match for Rumble only. We get the Undertaker with his theme playing, and it'll go through each of the team members. So, which is pretty cool. I kind of like these. Obviously, you go through the tournament mode, you get the championship, and it'll play the individual theme songs, which is cool. Again, a fun romp down memory lane. Kind of wraps up this era of this kind of WWE game where they were emulating the original arcade games. But we'll be going back to the arcade game for the next one. There she is, my queen. Until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed. This is the Lord of Salt signing off, saying, until next time, stay salty.